All righty, guys. Good day. Great day to get out here and get back on pads. Really to help us in our run game. Thought I saw some good things from our veteran backs, Justin Davis and Ronald Jones in our team run and play action period. Really helps us to be able to get in pads as much as we can for one-on-one pass rush, the running game, the pressures that come with it. So it was a good day for the big men. Really nice day for us also. One of the things after you come out of the first couple practices that we've seen is the depth at skill right now at all positions, whether it's safeties, corners, wide receivers, tight ends. And because of that, we wanted to get multiple reps. So you saw some two spotting today, two different scales going on. So we can get double the tape to be able to evaluate some young kids and really push them forward now that they've got some of the install that are in. Guys that stood out for me, one I talked about the two backs, but the other was the first offensive line in the team run period. Just them doing a great job of assignment football, but really controlling the line of scrimmage with that first team. It was great to see. Injury report wise in this practice, had Chris Hawkins with a little tweak of a hamstring, so we pulled him. Tyler Pettit had a little bit of a shoulder, but fought through practice, which was good. Saw Max just tweak an ankle, just rolled an ankle, came back. I don't think that's a big deal. And Juju, as you saw, we limited today. Toe, we did x-rays on, was all negative, didn't have anything wrong. He would love to be out here. He got routes on air, and then we pulled him from the team segment. So expect to have him back in a couple days, let that thing get 100%, and then we'll be back. So with that, any questions I can answer, feel free.
Doesn't look like you're getting any motion penalties, things like that. Is it that obvious?
Well, I think it's really clean, and I would hope to expect that. I mean, one of the things that's really hitting me, especially with that first offensive line, two senior tackles. The interiors are junior guards and a junior center. So you have older guys up there, and then even the backups are older guys that have played in games. You really only have the left tackle right now that's a rookie. Everybody else on that second team right now is pretty much old guys. So I like that from the veteran group, and it also speaks volumes to how the quarterbacks are operating. I think the quarterback is the field general. And he controls what's going on, and he has a lot to do with whether there's penalties or not. So proud of them too for getting that done.
What's been your impression of E.J. Price so far?
I see really great athleticism. He reminds me of the tackles that we signed, Chad Wheelers and Zach Banners, big men that can move. And does he know everything right now? No, he doesn't. But just when he knows what to do, you can see his athleticism take over. Have been very pleased with him thus far.
Stephen Mitchell was a guy that you mentioned that's been having a good camp. He had another long catch today.
Yeah.
What specifically have you liked about him?
I appreciate challenging him, coming out into the first practice and challenging him, not treating it like you're a vet. Let's make this your best year. You're the healthiest you've ever been. It's your time to shine. It's your time to be the guy to push the ball deep to. And he's really taken a great approach to it. And I appreciate him because he's not coming out here saying, okay, I'm going to just go through camp. He's treating it every day like it's a game. And that's one of the things that I'm seeing with having the overall depth is some of the veterans now can go play 3 plays as hard as they can and then put a young guy in behind them to be able to spell him, catch a breath, and go back in. I think that's going to make us a deeper team and a fresher team, hopefully, in the second half. But I can really see it from the older guys how fast they're playing.
Coach, the other day Juju mentioned wanting to get chemistry with the quarterbacks as fast as possible.
Yes.
Do you think that because the decision's coming later, that might set them back as far as the
No, I mean, we're only talking, we're almost to 2 weeks from today, I think, from naming that. So it gives us about 2 weeks, 18 practices, and then we got 2 weeks prior to, literally 4 weeks from today we play. So to be able to get 2 quarterbacks working, mixing in Matt Fink at the end and our developmental practice at the end, but really those 2 quarterbacks, you got to get work with both guys as wideouts, and he's settling in nice. The routes on there that we see today, those guys are getting better. The whole core is getting better with those kids each and every day.
How much better is it for this offense to go to a defense against a defense that's coming at you so hard and so fast every day?
Well, I've always appreciated, and I've always heard, I remember Brian Cushing saying, when he won the NFL Rookie of the Year, how did you transition so fast? Well, one, he was going against the best of the best, and that's what I feel right now. One, the competition level of a Juju going up against an Adoree, of a Porter going up against a Chad Wheeler, or a Zach Banner. When you have that type of competition, it really helps. Then put Clancy Pendergast's scheme with it, and you may not. This practice field may be harder than Saturday, and that's what you want as a head coach. You want Saturdays to be easy, both from the competition you're going against and from the scheme you're going against. We have both on the field right now, which is nice.
With that said, who do you think won the day, offense or defense today?
Ooh, mercy. I would have to say I'm a big fan of team run play action period. That was my favorite period. So, and I thought offense won that period. So I'll give it to offense. And they've done a better job of securing the ball. Really doing a good job of tying up some loose ends in turnovers. We went from 3 to 1, and then today I don't think we had one. So a lot better job.
But just getting into your run game faster. This looks like.
Yeah. Just as soon as it usually is, you have the underwear on, the first 2 days, as they say, and you work the passing game. And as soon, Coach Callaway and KU are foaming at the mouth as soon as they hear we're putting shoulder pads on. So to be able to get those on and you want to get to that run game as soon as you can. That's a huge part of us, and a really a part that when you're a balanced offense, you have to have the run game to be able to ensure the pass. So we're going to get to as fast as possible.
I was going to ask the same thing. When you put the pads on, isn't that a plus for the defense? Isn't that because their whole game's about being physical? So does that change everything here on the practice field?
Yeah,
the defense has got.
Well, I think it's both. Because on both sides of the ball, especially with the big men, what are you preaching? You're preaching pad level. You're teaching angles. You're teaching hat placement. And when you get the pads on you, you can literally step at the angle, put your hat where it needs to be, bang pads, see who the lower man is. That's what wins football games as big men. And it's really hard to do unless you have those pads.
What were some of your impressions with Max and Sam, how they looked going shoulder pads?
For the first 3 days, nothing really changes for the quarterbacks, with the exception probably the D-line rush is just a little bit harder because they can run into those offensive linemen. So it was good. One of the things I appreciate about both of them, and you saw it yesterday, you saw it today, I think Tyson's doing a good job with them of stepping up in the pocket, and when things aren't there, taking off. I saw Max run as fast as I've ever seen him run yesterday and gain 15 yards, and really, and then that's a natural thing for Sam, but I've seen Max do that some too, so I really am glad to see that as quarterback. Usually when you have no pads on, you're sitting back there patting that ball. Now you get some pads on and you're taking off running. That's a good thing to see because that's a natural thing a quarterback needs to do.
Is Achille Ross showing a growth spurt here?
Oh man, one of the, probably needed to mention him earlier. He is Clancy's been very pleased with him. One, he had a great off season. He was hurt last year, spring-wise, got very limited, and then comes into this camp, and he's been lights out and really has gone to somebody that's kind of climbing up the ladder just because of the way he's playing. That he's putting great stuff on tape, and that's usually when young guys do that, they're going to climb up the ladder. So very proud of his efforts thus far.
How much is the return of Toa Lobodon been, and how is he solidified back as a starting center?
Well, we're competing right now for the next 2 weeks at all positions, and as pleased as I am with Toa, I'm just as pleased with Nico Fala. To see his progression from where he was as a freshman until now, I think is staggering. And then, thank goodness for great doctors to get Toa back. That gives you two really good, solid guys at the center position. It really, the confidence that we've had in both men allowed us to move Khalil over to defense to be able to help us on that defensive front. Guys, thanks a lot. Appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. See y'all tomorrow.